coming your way on this episode of Wind Tunnel.
If things are going good, they like some good donuts just to recompensate, and they can work even better. So
what is the donut of choice on a week after maybe underachieving at the racetrack?
there's no donuts. If things are going bad, there's no donuts, man. No donuts.
Whether it's New Smyrna, whether it's Volusia Speedway, whether it's Daytona, the excitement is building in Volusia County, and we're so proud to be 57 years into this with New Smyrna Speedway and the Hart family, that the excitement is through the roof. We've got a stacked World Series this year.
It still comes down to people. It still comes down to, the people you have, the group that you can assemble, treating them the right way. And this new car will be nothing different other than trying to surround yourself with good, strong, positive people, trying to take everybody's ideas and putting them together to make the best recipe.
Wind Tunnel is brought to you by Advance Auto Parts, the official auto parts retailer of NASCAR. Here's your Wind Tunnel host, Jack Arute.
It's good to have you back here with me inside the Wind Tunnel. Thanks for choosing Wind Tunnel as your podcast of choice. Now, the sports landscape has been pretty full, what with Super Bowl 56 this past weekend and the continuation of the Bejing Olympics. But the racing world is ratcheting up as well. All eyes are focused on Daytona Beach, Florida, as NASCAR's top three series tackled the 2.5-mile Daytona International Speedway, with trucks on Friday, Xfinity on Saturday, and then the Great American Race, the Daytona 500, taking the green flag Sunday for NASCAR's Cup Series. A little bit later in this podcast, you'll hear from the competition director from Stewart Haas Racing, Greg Zipadelli, as we talk about this next-gen car, as well as SHR's 2022 outlook. Zippy, as he's known in the industry, also shares some insight into what the future might be for their newly signed fill-in driver, Ryan Preece. I'll also check in with Rusty Marcus, who is the general manager of the New Smyrna Speedway, less than 10 miles down the road from the Daytona International Speedway. For the past 60 years, New Smyrna Speedway has hosted short trackers from around America, competing in their very own version of Speedweeks in the rendition annually of the World Series of Asphalt Racing on that high-banked half-miler. And our old friend Alex Pillow will stop by. Remember 1 year ago, the smiling Spaniard was just getting to know his new Chip Ganassi IndyCar racing team. And now, he's ending his off-season as the series champion. You don't want to miss my conversation with Alex. In it, he'll explain how he uses donuts, of all things, to reward his team for success. So, let's not waste any more time, okay? Let's jump right in. It is time to crank it up here inside the Wind Tunnel.
First up this week,
Noggle leads to turn number 4. Great save by Wright. He's still in a battle in the top 5 or so with Jamie Skinner on the final lap. As Noggle comes off of turn 4, and the driver from Nova Scotia will claim the victory on night number 1 in the Pro Late Models.
there's more Wind Tunnel to come after this timeout.
With Advance Auto Parts, you can get the part you need from the comfort of your garage. We have a wide variety of parts in stock, and you can get them fast. Order online with Advance Same Day and get your part with same-day pickup in-store, same-day curbside, or same-day delivery. It's the fastest way to get the part you need, where you need it, when you need it. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. See store for details.
Man, this is for all those guys. There's a ton of them out there that are like me, that have won here and all these great short tracks around here. We can do it. We just need the opportunities. Today proved it. Yeah, it's a short track, but it's still damn hard to win here, and we did it.
They are hometown heroes, drivers who put their passion on the line in front of their friends.
Here we go, 3 wide, got Sellers up in the marble.
Halfway home in this one, and here is the fight for the lead. Off turn 4, he heads for the checkered flag.
They're 3 wide in 2 different rows.
Time now to focus the spotlight on hometown heroes with this week's Advance Auto Parts Victory Lap, brought to you by the NASCAR Advance Auto Parts Weekly Racing Series, driving local racing in local communities forward.
And we're set for green. Derek Griffith in the 12. Max Callis in the 148. We're underway. You see him spinning the tires a bit. Trouble back in the field. David Rogers backs it into the wall.
Well, throughout the years when Daytona International Speedway hosted Speedweeks, you could not talk, nor could you attend that big event without traveling just down the road a bit to the new Smyrna Speedway. It has hosted incredible racing in and around Speedweeks for more than 50 years. And their general manager, Rusty Marcus, takes our victory lap today. Rusty, got to be a busy time for you cats down there at New Smyrna right now.
Oh, it's crazy, but it's great because, all eyes on the racing world are going to be in Volusia County, whether it's New Smyrna, whether it's Volusia Speedway, whether it's Daytona. The excitement is building in Volusia County, and we're so proud to be 57 years into this with New Smyrna Speedway and the Hart family, that the excitement is through the roof. We've got a stacked World Series this year, and we are excited to unveil it and see all the fans come see the great racing action that's going to happen here.
There's been so many iterations. I go back to Clyde's days when he would kind of just walk around the pit area, and now his son and his son's wife, and under yours and Holly's guidance, not only hosting in and around the Speedweeks, but you've got a complete roster of Advanced Auto Parts NASCAR Weekly Racing Series action as well throughout the season. So how do you mix and match the two when the focus of the world you in late February?
Well, here's the thing. We focus first in February on this because this is huge. And the rest of it, we're so grateful to be in cahoots with NASCAR. They've stepped up to the plate. I know there's a lot of people that, NASCAR this, NASCAR that. No, people, NASCAR is really trying to work their roots program. And it's very evident by what you're getting ready to see here. For 9 straight days, you're going to see some incredible stuff. And the drivers throughout the year, we're bringing back our Sunbelt Super Late Model Series with the David Rogers Super Late Models. There's lots of excitement, and we can't wait to get this year started because, with the COVID stuff that we've dealt with for the past 2 years, it's been kind of, you don't know which direction to go. Last year, World Series was incredible. The year before, incredible. This year, we're looking to knock it out of the ballpark for the fans and the drivers to come have an experience like they've never had before.
Rusty, you've got a pretty assorted resume. Spent a lot of time with the Legends Car Series, which has become, I personally believe, one of the most effective entry-level opportunities in any sport, no matter what it may be. What did you glean or what did you take from that experience that you've been able to integrate into New Smyrna? Because like every short track in America, it's not just your premier series. You've got feeder series, whether they're street stocks or the young kids can move up the ladder.
Right. And here we've got a special situation here at New Smyrna Speedway. We can't run the Legends and Bandoleros because we're a half-mile track. I love the Legends and Bandoleros, and I'm trying to figure out a way to get them here. It's been great. And throughout my career, what's really fun is I'm watching these drivers that we had at Winter Nationals down at Orlando Speed World and at the Battle at the Big Top, Battle of the Bayou, Battle of the Carolinas. You're starting to see them come up through the ranks now, and they've made it to places you never thought that it could happen, and they are. And that is so incredible. And that's what it's all about. At New Smyrna Speedway, a lot of people think we're just about racing. That's what the main thing is. We started a couple of years ago. It's not about the racing. It's about the memories. And we make some dadgum good memories here at New Smyrna Speedway and any racetrack. Come and make the memories. That's what it's all about. The money is forgotten about. The trophies are on the mantle. It's about the friendships, the camaraderies, the different things that are going to happen. And it lasts a lifetime. I remember as a kid watching races, it was just a bunch of guys down there wrecking cars. And now then you're seeing these people go into the Hall of Fame. And it's incredible. And to be just a tiny part of this.
Let me ask you this. What do you think Advanced Auto Parts has brought to the party that has benefited New Smyrna Speedway?
The advertising, the notoriety of them, they're stepping up to the plate and they're swinging. Things kind of got a little bleak there for a little while, and they stepped up to the plate, and it's really bringing a lot of flavor to everything that's going on, and we're proud to have him on as one of our sponsors.
You know, one of the things that the folks at Advance Auto Parts, myself, and I know you share as well, is understanding the passion of a short track racer. It's one thing Kevin Harvick and fly in and compete in your Stewart Haas Racing Ford Mustang in a cup event, but it's another thing when the driver is going to strap himself into that late model, tows it over with his trailer, has an all volunteer or maybe one or two paid folks, but then displays his abilities not in front of just fans, but in front of family, in front of people every single week that he knows and that he deals with the other 6 days a week. That passion is hard to explain to folks that haven't enjoyed short track racing, isn't it?
I've got a great story for you. We've got a racer that runs here, and he's not a well-funded team. It's a family that comes out of South Florida. They usually run around in the back. They might get lapped a time or two or three. And I think it was 2 years ago, he ended up with a podium finish. And my goodness, you would have thought he won the Daytona 500. That's what it's about, is seeing these people that slave on these cars like crazy. And, you know, they're thinking, hey, we'll be lucky to make the show. And he gets a podium finish. I mean, there was a lot of wet eyes in the grandstands that night, because when he pulled up there, it was just incredible for him to be on the podium. And that's what it's about, is making these memories. And if we can make memories and we can make somebody happy, you know what? Life is good.
Indeed it is. And it's been good to catch up with you, and looking forward to another Speedweeks at New Smyrna Speedway, AKA the World Series of Stock Car Auto Racing. Rusty, thanks so much for joining us here inside the Advance Auto Parts NASCAR Weekly Racing Series Victory Lap today.
You've been listening to the Advance Auto Parts Victory Lap, brought to you by the NASCAR Advance Auto Parts Weekly Racing Series, driving local racing in local communities forward.
And remember, we're located right on the action corner of 44 and 415. Be there!
With Advance Auto Parts, you can get the part you need from the comfort of your garage. We have a wide variety of parts in stock, and you can get them fast. Order online with Advance Same Day and get your part with same-day pickup in-store, same-day curbside, or same-day delivery. It's the fastest way to get the part you need, where you need it, when you need it. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. See store for details.
Welcome back to your podcast home for motorsports conversation, Jack Arute's Wind Tunnel. And follow us on our social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And be sure to subscribe to Wind Tunnel's YouTube channel, where you'll discover bonus content.
Think of all the moments that you and your dad, Ramon, put in at the go-kart track, 7 years, just you and him there together. Did you ever dream this moment and that Astro Cup would be yours?
That's ours, right? Oh my God, man! What a race! What a year! What a season! And this team is amazing. I don't know what to say. It's just I'm super proud of being part of Chip Ganassi Racing.
Joining me inside the wind tunnel is the defending NTT IndyCar champ. But the last time that we talked with Alex Below, he was explaining why he needed a Rolex. He got to compete in the Rolex 24, but Alex, you still got a watch, but not a Rolex. What happened?
It's still a plastic watch. So unfortunately, yeah, that didn't really go well. We had some issues. We couldn't really finish the race on the same amount of laps as the leader. We lost 40 laps during the night because of an issue. So yeah, very unfortunate, but a really good experience. That it was my first time doing a 24-hour race. Very challenging and really fun. I got to learn a lot from my teammates, from the team, and from the race itself. So yeah, we got the fastest lap, and I think the track record. So that's a good thing. And hopefully we'll try and get that new watch next year, I guess.
When we first visited last year on one of the early episodes of Wind Tunnel here, you were making your move to Chip Ganassi Racing, and there were a lot of variables and a lot of unknowns. Now that you've had a full year under your belt, what was the biggest thing you learned about that dynamic inside CGR?
I think the biggest thing I learned is the way they work here and the way the way they work. It's always tough for a new guy to get involved in a new team or a new company and know how they work and get together. But they made it quite easy for me. I know exactly how they work. They like if things are going good, they like some good donuts just to recompensate, and they can work even better. So no, I mean they are amazing. We had a good year. It was my first year, so there was some stuff that I didn't really get up to speed, but hopefully that we improve that over the postseason or preseason, and we're ready to roll.
The donuts. That's something that a lot of my listeners probably aren't aware of, but you've kind of used it as the carrot at the end of the stick for your team whenever they do have success. But what is the donut of choice on a week after maybe underachieving at the racetrack? Do you change up the recipe at all in terms of what you select?
There's no donuts. If things are going bad, there's no donuts, man. No donuts. No, that's for everybody. That's not only for them. That's also for me. So only donuts or good stuff when we have good results. But yeah, I really like the way we work here, especially with that number 10, Ricky in the car, having Julian as well. I still have probably 90% of the people I had last year. So yeah, we can still grow a lot and keep on working together.
Well, in the meantime, the NTT IndyCar Series still immersed in the off season, while NASCAR and other groups like the Rolex IMSA WeatherTech scene have come up and begun to shake off the winter doldrums. So how antsy are you getting to get down to St. Pete?
I'm really, really excited to get down to St. Pete, but it's coming really soon. Like it's gonna be 2 weeks and we're there. So it feels weird because we haven't tested yet. So I haven't been in the car since probably Long Beach. So it's been long, and yeah, I'm really excited. I saw some NASCAR racing, and I was like, man, I want to race as well. Like at least I got to race at the Rolex, which that was really good to get some laps in to just get that feel of racing and going back to work. And I think we're ready for St. Pete, man.
How are you a better driver in 2022 than you were in your championship drive of 2021?
Oh, lots of stuff. First of all, experience. I have more experience than last year. I know how to what things I need to improve for this year. I think last year I was lacking some places, and hopefully I got that better. So yeah, hopefully I'm a better driver this year.
A lot of folks know Alex Palou when he burst onto the scene in the IndyCar series. It was a fulfillment, as you have shared with me before, of a long time dream of yours. But the way you got there is the part that fascinates me. Had to go almost halfway around the globe to make your name. You did not object at all to strapping yourself into the cockpit of anything that might become available. When you look back on the journey, it certainly has been worthwhile, but are there elements that remain really bright in your, wow, winning the championship was great, but boy, my time in Japan was equally great?
Absolutely. I think I had one of the best rides ever. Like I got to experience the racing in Europe for a long time. I got to experience racing in Japan, which that's something really different. And now I'm racing here in the US. So I think it's something that just helps me grow because they have really good stuff in Japan and really good stuff in Europe. So I think that helps me be just better overall. But yeah, I had a lot of good times in Japan. To be honest, it's probably one of my favorite memories, but it's not it's not close to how I'm feeling now. To be honest, I'm really happy here. It was my dream to be here. We won the championship last year, so I couldn't be better. But it was a really good experience to race in Japan, to learn about the culture, to be there alone for some days and just trying to get food, and only speaking a little bit of English. So it was fun. I learned a lot, and it's an experience that I would recommend everybody to go there and try and live there for at least a week or two.
So my question to you is, 1 year ago, if you walked down to the monument in the middle of the Indianapolis, of the city of Indianapolis, passerbys may have not even recognized who Alex Palou was. But this offseason, what's the recognition factor? Are you being stopped outside of the shop when you're just, let's say, at the grocery store or picking up that fried chicken? Are people more, shall I say, reacting to, hey, that's Alex Palou?
It's been more, obviously. I already felt it, obviously, around here in Indy, around the Rolex, but it's nothing crazy either. I'm not Jimmy Johnson. I'm not Scott Dixon. So I get quite a lot of more than last year, obviously, and 2 years ago. But we need to win some more so we get more recognition, man.
Alex, now that you're over at CGR, who's your go-to guy? Fellow driver. You alluded to two of your teammates. We add TK, Tony Kanaan, to the mix, etc. Who do you turn to when you looking for some additional mentoring?
It depends, man. It depends a lot. The good thing is that I can choose. It depends on the situation. So I know if I'm at the Speedway, I would go to probably the table where TK and Scott are. But this year we have Jimmy there also. So it's gonna be good. I don't know. To be honest, I rely on all of them. I rely on Dario as well. I rely on my engineer. So I don't have one person that I rely a lot. I rely a lot on all the tools I have around me, and it's been great.
You mentioned going to Dario. While he's out of the cockpit, he has become pretty much the Rick Mears, as they say, the Team Penske's enjoyed as a shall I say, a driver coach. Now Dario's done the same thing for CGR over there. And he has been very complimentary, by the way, of you and the way you have polished your racecraft. What's the best lesson that you learned from that Scotsman?
I'm not gonna tell you, man.
Oh, you're kidding me.
You're gonna post it? Obviously not. I'm not gonna tell you. Otherwise, more people will know, right? But yeah, I think having Dario, the ability he has he's been a driver for so many years, a really good driver. But now he also can see everything from outside, and sometimes he knows exactly what I need from the car, and he can tell exactly the engineer what I need. So it's amazing to have him on the team, and I'm never gonna tell you what he tells me.
Wow.
So yeah,
wow. And
I'm sorry, we are friends.
I was gonna say, I thought we were friends.
We are, but you're gonna post this, right? Or are you gonna keep it for you? You're gonna post it.
I have to post it, That's what I do.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And I know that you're really good friends with TK as well. He's still gonna try and beat me at the Indy 500. I think he's really strong, and you would tell him. So I don't want anybody to know. My secrets are my secrets.
That's fair enough. Let's forget about secrets before I let you go. During the off season, the championship celebration, all that goes into that, and you emerging as a leader, not only at CGR, but within the IndyCar industry. Tell me the one guilty pleasure type thing, be it a purchase, whatever it may have been in the off season, that you treated yourself to as the NTT IndyCar champion.
To be honest, I have to say nothing, probably.
Come on, you can't be that dull of a guy. You had to do something. You had to go buy something that was outrageous.
No, well, I bought the motorhome, but that was not because of the winning the championship. That was because I didn't have one. But yeah, but I'll have a new motorhome this year, which that's cool. But apart of that, nothing, man. I don't need much. I have my family. I went on vacation, but that was more because we needed a vacation, not because of winning the championship. So I think I didn't change anything.
Well, looking forward to getting the Cook's tour of that new motor coach that you purchased. I think we could throw that in because while it was a necessity, because you didn't have one, now you've got home right there at every racetrack where you can go inside with Dario and continue to share some secrets. How about that?
Obviously, 100%.
Alec, as always, it's great to catch up with you. Good luck as we kick off the season at the St. Pete Grand Prix, and hopefully we're going to have more of those winner chicken dinners. Thanks for joining me.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can't wait for that. Thank you so much for having me once again. See ya.
Wind Tunnel is now available on Amazon Alexa. Just say, Alexa, play Jack Arute's Wind Tunnel. Coming up after the break.
I think when I hear the phrase winning has roots, I think of just the preparation it takes to go win races and run up front. You know, you have to have roots, and those roots are in the race shop with your people.
You know, it even goes maybe even further into the individual and your roots of where did you come from and your upbringing. And I think that goes back to a lot of the people in here. You know, you hear the phrase racers, and, you know, they grew up racing. They have that passion and desire. You know, they're the ones that always make the difference and make us better.
That's Chase Briscoe and my next guest, Greg Zipadelli, weighing in on Stewart Haas Racing's philosophy. You'll learn more about that philosophy when Zippy visits with me here, right inside the wind tunnel, next.
With Advance Auto Parts, you can get the part you need from the comfort of your garage. We have a wide variety of parts in stock, and you can get them fast. Order online with Advance Same Day and get your part with same-day pickup in-store, same-day curbside, or same-day delivery. It's the fastest way to get the part you need, where you need it, when you need it. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. See store for details.
Welcome back to your podcast home for motorsports conversation, Jack Arute's Wind Tunnel. Here's your host, Jack Arute.
Well, I am personally pleased to be joined by an old friend here inside the wind tunnel. He's the director of competition for Stewart Haas Racing and their field of Mustangs to compete in the Cup Series, as well as some Mustangs that they'll field in the Xfinity series of NASCAR. We're talking about Greg Zipadelli, better known to his friends as Zippy. Zippy, it's a real pleasure to have you here inside the wind tunnel. Hope you are well.
I'm doing well. Just off a quick trip to the West Coast for the Clash, which was pretty exciting and fun. They did a spectacular job with organizing and just the way everything went off. It was I don't know that they could have done any better.
It was also the maiden voyage for this next gen car. So the logical question would be, how much did you actually learn about these cars in that competitive form that you can then transfer to not only this weekend at Daytona, but also the West Coast swing and when we get into the meat of the 2022 schedule?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing to take away from it is we all had to go through inspections. So we kind of finally, for the first time, saw the process and how they're going to do things and in what order, and how they're going to check stuff. And obviously they'll always switch that up, but at least, there's a lot of things that we were unsure of how they were going to do it. So, and then we did get a couple, three quick practices. So we were able to adjust on the car and see the sensitivity of it. When sometimes when you test, you go out, like we went to Phoenix and we had a pretty good test out there, had some good speed, but you don't really know where they are, what they're doing, tires, what they're working on. When you get to an event and everybody goes through tech and you go out and you practice, speeds are a little more relative to, the competition and the level of the competition. So from that aspect, the car adjusted. The guys did a good job adjusting on their cars. We all unloaded probably a little too loose and we're able to get to where we had to, a couple of them were really good.
So much has been said about this next gen car. And in reality, it's more of a real race car. And I'm going to quote one of your bosses, Tony Stewart, who said, finally, we have a real race car instead of a race car that it's got a pickup truck rear end to it or rear trailing arms. But overall, from your perspective, is it more engineering sensitive than the Gen 6 car? Or is it more about taking the parts and pieces, or as I say, the componentry, and maxing it out when you assemble it?
I think it's a combination of both, to be honest with you. There's definitely some more engineering the thought behind it and the adjustments of things. And then other things are, from the body and some of that stuff. It's a carbon fiber body, flange fit, bolts together, from that perspective is you still got to work really hard to get everything maximized and things, but it's just different. But there's still a lot of craftsman thoughts, process, all those things are still going to apply to this race car. Racers and hard work will still prevail.
When you left the Northeast to pursue your passion down in the South, things were dramatically different than they are now. Then you moved to Joe Gibbs Racing and certainly the success that you and Tony enjoyed. And then following Tony over and becoming the director of competition at Stewart Haas. It seems to me as an outsider looking in that the complexities could be overwhelming for someone like you. So I wonder how much of that, shall I say, inbred racing knowledge that you took from the Northeast down to the South still comes into play day to day with Stewart Haas.
Well, I think the most important thing, no matter what level of the sport we're in, what year, what decade of racing, it still comes down to people. It still comes down to, the people you have, the group that you can assemble, treating them the right way. And this new car will be nothing different other than trying to surround yourself with good, strong, positive people, trying to take everybody's ideas and putting them together to make the best recipe. So yeah, from some of the hands-on stuff of building all of our modifieds and the Busch North and Busch East cars, that's definitely changed, but the fundamentals of racing and still thinking about things and how to be better than others, is that will never change in our sport.
You still got your toolbox?
I do.
Over the off season, you made a couple of moves that caught a lot of people's attention, and I've heard you specifically on Sirius XM radio addressing taking Booga and moving him over into the R&D side, hiring Ryan to be not only kind of your fill-in driver, but also working closely with Booga on the sim rigs because of the need to continue to build the knowledge base with this next gen car. Do you like what you've put together there? And can you help my listeners understand what Mike and Ryan and their staffs are going to be doing when you're at Daytona or at Las Vegas or at Bristol?
Yeah, so Ryan's a great young talent. Love the kid. Grew up, and same area right down the street from where his dad was, and his father's involved in racing, been around a long time. And when you watch the kid from the outside, you'd consider him a really strong racer. He's a winner. He wins and closes the deal and everything he's been in but Cup. So I feel like if we can hopefully at some point surround him with a strong group of people, he'll have the same success here to some extent. So right now we're using him for, just some testing, some validation. We're going to run some Xfinity races. I think he's got 2 Cup races. So there's a lot of good things for him coming. Booga is really strong technically and with our tools. So, he's kind of helping with some of the day-to-day stuff there as far as trying to push the tools that we use to limits and continuing to progress them as fast as we can to stay with the competition, hopefully get ahead of the competition. Obviously that's what your focus and your goal is, but you want to be able to at least stay parallel with them as this new car is being developed and updates and to the sim and the simulator and all of those things that we use every day to try to make our cars faster. So he's done a really good job of jumping in and taking that vehicle dynamics group over, and it just strengthened our whole program.
All the top teams in NASCAR now are utilizing pretty much the same plan that we've seen in play with Formula One for many, many years. And that's while there's a group that go to the racetrack on race day, there's another group that are back in what I will call the war room. Can you pull the curtain back on the Stewart Haas war room and kind of explain, with the running of the Daytona 500 this weekend, what and who will be in the war room back there in North Carolina?
Well, every team has, three engineers that support each car number. So, and then, we've got Booga and we've got Rex, And then we've got a vehicle dynamics group, which has a few more engineers in it. So for the most part, 1 to 2 engineers travel to the racetrack, mostly right now 1 because of the war room. And they're all sitting in there working together, just looking at data, watching the race on every, if it's got in-car camera, they'll be up there. It'll be, just so they're just looking at just as much data as we can pull from the racetrack and get back here to the shop for these guys to just simply look and mine through and see what types of things can they send back to the racetrack, strategies, thoughts, adjustments. And now what, the 4 teams working closer together there, not that they didn't when they're at the racetrack, but when you're only sitting 4 feet away from somebody, it's easier to kind of have that communication, I think, than it is when you're in pit stall 2 in Daytona and pit stall 40 in Daytona. And there's a whole, there's a long ways between them, you know what I mean? So it seems to be working well. Like you said, every team is kind of utilizing it to some degree, some more than others, but it's definitely the future and the way we'll continue to go and continue to ramp that up. And as technology changes in our sport, and now that we have crazy thing, but Wi-Fi the last few years, it's easier to transfer data back and forth to the shop, and so they can be looking at it basically real time, and we can too at the racetrack.
And then in the meantime, each and every race, I can see you going up and down pit road, up and down pit road. How much of a Dr. Phil do you have to play during the course of a race weekend, especially when the cars are out there? Because there's a lot of times where I can see the animated conversation you're having with one of your crew chiefs, and then you kind of walk away and your whole demeanor changes. It's sometimes I think you're Greg Zipadelli, Stewart Haas Racing's herder of cats.
Yeah, it's all you try to either encourage them if not having a good day, heard somebody else do something and it helped them. You go and you try to just communicate that. But there's a fine line, because those guys, they have their thought process. They've worked through a lot of what they think is the changes in directions if their car's not where they want it to be. So be careful. You don't want to overload them with stuff that may get them second guessing themselves. So like I said, there's a balance of trying to give them things that are useful information, or, if we're just simply having a problem and we're trying to problem solve something, then that's a completely different situation. You jump in and you do what you can to help.
Listen, you come a long way, my friend. It's a real pleasure to have you with us. Last question for you. Is it still fun?
It's a little bit more stressful, but it's still fun. Of when the green flag drops and if you're competitive, it's a ton of fun to try to maintain this large group of what we have right now today and try to compete at the highest level.
Listen, it's a real pleasure. Thanks so much for stopping by here inside the wind tunnel, and most of all, good luck to your entire team in the Great American Race taking the green flag this Sunday.
Thanks, buddy. Good talking to you.
I'll wrap this week up after this timeout.
With Advance Auto Parts, you can get the part you need from the comfort of your garage. We have a wide variety of parts in stock, and you can get them fast. Order online with Advance Same Day and get your part with same-day pickup in-store, same-day curbside, or same-day delivery. It's the fastest way to get the part you need, where you need it, when you need it. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. See store for details.
My thanks to Rusty Marcus of the new Smyrna Speedway, Alex Pillow of Chip Ganassi Racing, and Stewart Haas Racing's Scott Zipadelli for visiting with me this week. Make sure you return next week, because I'll be peeling away the stories behind this weekend's Speedweek action at Daytona International Speedway. I'll also visit with a home track hero and begin the countdown to IndyCar's season opener in St. Petersburg, Florida. Until then, I'm Jack Arute. Thanks for venturing with me inside the wind tunnel.
You've been listening to Jack Arute's Wind Tunnel, brought to you by Advance Auto Parts, the official auto parts retailer of NASCAR. Follow us on our social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And be sure to subscribe to Wind Tunnel's YouTube channel, where you'll discover bonus content. I'm Lenny Baticki of Performance Racing Network's At the Track Show, saying thank you for joining us today. See you again next week.